Good day, everyone. I am Joseph Nacionales, a faculty of Eastern Visayas State University, Main Campus, Philippines. So today I will be presenting my paper entitled Perceptions Toward Double Entry Reflective E-Journaling Voices from English Language Students in a Philippine State University. So the practice of a good reflection is one of the indicators that a person is really critically processing the ideas they have in mind. That's according to Gordon MacLeod, 2009, cited in a Bolga SAM 2019. It is believed that reflective practice is considered as an opportunity for students to evaluate what has been taught by their teachers and analyze what they understand about it. In the teaching and learning process, reflection is believed to be a common practice that teachers employ in all of their learning activity, and this gives an active role to the students as they evaluate their own learning. In the changing landscape of teaching and learning in the new normal setting, teachers are keep on innovating tasks, especially in the time of the COVID-19 outbreak that could promote higher order thinking skills. So despite of the restrictions of face-to-face classes in higher education institutions, various strategies were employed by the teachers that encourage learners to be responsible of their own learning. After the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, it was observed that um, the teachers are becoming more skillful on innovating activities that could fit to the nature and the context of their students. The Commission on Higher Education in the Philippines implemented flexible learning in all private college schools and campus universities to ensure the continuation of learning in the Philippines amidst the pandemic. So, TRIA asserted that the new normal way of learning is giving the students leeway to use their full ability in learning their lessons through these online modes. So teachers are being creative as to what tasks and activities they give their students. So one specific activity that I observed that was given by the teachers in our context is through the use of double entry reflective e-journal. This is a new way of innovating the traditional way of letting the students answer a journal as part of the flexible learning modality. So the use of this e-journaling guided learners in writing their reflections in two columns. So the first one was on the recapitulation part, and the second one is on the critical reflection via Microsoft Word document submitted via Google Drive. So the first column encourages students to review what they have learned on the topic being discussed. In the second column, make the students think critically. Okay, it requires higher order thinking skills by examining what they have learned in connection to their personal beliefs and experiences. So in this study, the use of electronic journaling were employed by the teacher to the freshman English major students in State University. So for the materials and methods, the locale of the study was conducted in a state university in the Philippines. The participants in the study were enrolled in Bachelor of Arts in English language students in the school year 2020 to 2021. The use of electronic journaling were employed by one of the teachers in major subjects. So there were 57 students tasked to write their e-journals in a period of 4 months, or equivalent to one semester. Submission of the journals were done via Google Drive, and there were 6 journals that were collected from each student in the entire semester. So descriptive study were employed in determining the perception of the English major students towards the use of e-journaling. So there were 31 statements used in the said questionnaire, and it was categorized into 5 parts. So the first one was on the usefulness of e-journaling. The second one was on the desirable effects of e-journaling. The third one was on the barriers to good journaling, and the next one is on the mentors in e-journaling. And the last one was on the appropriateness of using e-journaling. So data were analyzed using uh, SPSS data statistical package. So for the results, the first table is on the perceptions towards usefulness of e-journaling. So it can be gleaned in table 1 that the statement encourages critical thinking got the highest mean value of 4.36, interpreted as strongly agreed. The students believe that the use of e-journaling could really further develop their critical thinking skills, and it was really useful to their program. Meanwhile, the statements "it helped me improve decision making" got the least value of 4.15, interpreted as agree. So this implies that students somehow agree with the help of e-journaling in decision making process. For the second table is on the perceptions towards undesirable effects of e-journaling. So it is shown in table 2 that the statement process can be manipulated to make the expected outcomes of journal or reflective writing got the highest mean value of 3.90. It is interpreted as agree. So most of the students agree that the process used in e-journals can be changed and it could provide quality output, which could affect as well in writing their e-journals. The statement I usually reflect on negative issues when writing my journal get the least mean value of 3.05, interpreted as agree. So this reflects the students also consider negative thoughts when they provide their entries in e-journaling. So there were a total of 3.49 mean recorded in the perception of the students toward e-journaling. So for the third table, it is focused on the barriers to good e-journaling. So it can be observed in the table that the learners are not sure whether they have encountered difficulties in using e-journaling because it got 3.3 overall mean, which is interpreted as undecided. So specifically, the statement "uncertainty of using unfamiliar learning approach and other digital platforms used in class" got the highest mean value of 3.74, interpreted as agree. So this means that students somehow encountered tools in deployment of e-journaling. The statement "teacher's instructions of reflective journal writing was not adequate" got the least mean value of 2.87, interpreted as undecided. So this implies that the instructions given by the teacher was clear enough to be understood by the students. For the fourth table is on the mentors in e-journaling. So it is reflected in the table that um, the statement "supervision by teacher for the introduction of reflection in e-journal writing is essential" got the highest mean value of 4.44, interpreted as strongly agree, which give emphasis on the role of the teacher in mentoring the e-journal of the students. Meanwhile, the statement "I need assistance from the teacher to help me to identify language issues for reflection" got the least mean value of 4.08, which is interpreted as agree. So this implies that the learners somehow need to support their teacher when reflecting issues on the topic discussed. So lastly, on the fifth table is on the perception towards appropriateness. So it can be shown in the table that the perception of the students toward appropriateness got an overall mean of 3.68, which is interpreted as agree. So this implies that the e-journaling activity is suitable to the task for the teaching and learning process in the major subject. So the statement "the time given to complete the reflective e-journal entry is sufficient" got the highest mean value of 3.95, which means that the time allotted was to write and let them submit their journal was sufficient. And the statement "a good reflective practitioner does not necessarily mean a good practitioner" got the least mean value of 3.26, which is interpreted as undecided. So the students remain undecided on the applicability of reflective learning in doing a good practice. So for the conclusion, the findings of this research reveal that English major students have a good positive perception towards the following salient aspects in terms of the usefulness of journal writing, in terms of the undesirable effects of e-journaling, the mentors in writing, the appropriateness of writing as a tool to assess learning outcomes, except on the aspect of barriers to good e-journaling writing, which got an undecided result from the student. So it is recommended by the researcher that future research should be done in employing in the interview to better understand the perception of the students Also, teachers' perceptions in e-journaling in future studies may also be included. So these are the references that the researcher used in his study. So that ends my presentation. Thank you for listening.